Caroline, thank you so much for your time to talk about the No More Page 3 campaign.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So basically you are starring currently in a Noel Coward play called Relative Values, and there's an underlying theme of social equality. Now, a lot of women might say, I have the right to bare my breasts if I want to, it's a free country, why shouldn't I? Do you think that represents social equality in Britain?
Well, I think they'd be right. I mean, they are perfectly entitled to show their breasts, and I would encourage people to do so for their own reasons, in the privacy of their own home or on a beach if they were sunbathing. What I don't think is helpful socially is for my daughter, who's 14, to see women objectified. And there's absolutely no way that the photographs that appear in print of half-naked women or completely naked women don't objectify women. And I think during the 70s, when I was a girl, I always assumed that by now that wouldn't happen anymore, that we'd live in a society where if you got on a tube you wouldn't be sitting opposite a man who was looking at a picture of a 17, 18-year-old girl half clothed. And so equality, of course, people must be free to do what they want to with regard to their own bodies, but I have a sneaking suspicion that actually there is a quiet pressure brought to bear on a lot of girls.
Absolutely. Speaking of your daughter, you have a teenage daughter and a son who's a little bit younger. Have you ever specifically felt the need to try and sort of hide them from page 3 almost?
Yes, I mean, I you know, if you go into certain shops and garages and places, there are pictures of women, some of them pretty graphic actually. I mean, they may or may not have a star sort of covering up various bits of them, but it's pretty clear what's going on. And I do remember when, particularly when my kids were quite a bit younger, just feeling uncomfortable with it and slightly assaulted by it, that there was something quite brutalising about having an 11-year-old girl with you who is confronted with an image of two girls with, I don't know, leather chaps on or something, with a star across some part of their body. And I did and I do find that unsettling, disturbing, and quite shocking still, even though we see it all the time. I still find it shocking. And I don't want my boy, who's 11, to grow up with any sense that that women are there to be viewed as things, as inanimate objects. And I think the sooner we kind of rid ourselves of this plague, really, of images of women as just pure sex objects, the better we'll all be. And I think I do feel quite strongly that actually now's the time we should do it. We've waited long enough. You know, it's important because violence against women is on the increase. The objectifying of women is on the increase, and we have a whole new generation of teenage boys, particularly, who, because of the way media works and the pop industry in particular works, expect girls to be undressed a lot of the time, and I'm delighted to say that I think this is the kind of the thin end of the wedge that will finally knock that out, and we'll get rid of it. And I think it's great. I'm very excited by it actually. I think this is really hopeful.
We hope so.
And I think it would be great. I mean, I don't know what's the editor's name, the
Dominic.
And I think you know, just a message to Dominic Moen really would be that he could do something earth-shattering here. He could change the world by doing this, and that would be a great legacy, I think, and something he could be very proud of, and something he could, you know, look to his children, his grandchildren, and say, I was at the forefront of that. I listened to those women, and I have made your world a better world, and my wife, my children, my nieces and my nephews will have more respect for each other and I was a part of that. And if I were him, I think I'd be excited by that challenge, and he could do something which really had a great legacy.
You might think it's a sense of sort of giving up defeat, but actually...
Oh no, I don't think...
It's so much more pride and so much more important to listen to the people.
I really think so, and I think yes, no, rather than thinking you're running away from something or you're giving in to something, I think he could take this opportunity to really be an incredible leader.
Absolutely.
You know, and lead all those other publications to examine the way they behave and the way they look at women and the way they encourage men to look at women. And I think that would be, if I were him, I'd just be excited at that prospect of that power, actually.
Very well put said. So just a little bit more lightheartedly now, but I mean the story is still there. We're putting together a little poem, as you know, to get this message across to Dominic Moen and to the great British public, to get them all on board to sign the No More Page 3 petition. So the poem so far was kicked off by Lucy Holmes, the founder of the campaign. She wrote 2 lines, and then the political activist Kate Smurthwaite added 2 more lines. So far it goes: on a partially cloudy day in 1970, the men at the Sun were wondering what to put on page 3. We don't know the details, but we can assume that there weren't many women on the team in the room. So Caroline, what 2 lines would you like to add to the poem?
I think to that I'm going to add, I've got an idea, said an old hack called Pete, as he stubbed out his fag and leapt to his feet.
Excellent. Caroline, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been great to speak to you. And I look forward to many more people signing the petition.
Yeah, me too.
Thank
Me
you,
too.
Caroline.
You're welcome.